clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. The system broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose, motherfucker, we roll. Motherfucker, we roll. With some lights getting good.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to help you get better in your jiu-jitsu game by giving you some key tips. First and foremost, anytime you start a roll, the number one thing to look out for is bicep and grip control. A dominant position is to be able to get what is called inside ties. So you're basically placing your hand on the bicep, and you also want to get head control. Good head control can be putting your hand on the crown. I get a takedown by just cutting the angle, just making an angle and driving forward with a front headlock.
I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega, and I keep it with me just so that I'm feeling safer. Fendi on my body, but my feet is in Bottega. Bitch, I'm getting money, give a fuck about a haters.
So now I got to a mount position by sliding my knee over, and now what you can do while you're in mount is one great thing to focus on is to be able to maintain mount by switching over to a technical mount. Do you see how I switched from a regular mount to a technical mount? When somebody bridges and rolls like he's trying to do here, you can go to your S mount. One great way to escape if you are rolling is during this transition. You do have a possibility of slipping out. Right here I'm trying to go for a mounted triangle, and during my attack he slips out the back. This is a mounted triangle from a previous roll that I had posted. This is what I was trying to do. Now here I made the same mistake. Do you see my left leg? What you want to do is, instead of doing this, which is a mistake, I should have slid my left leg up and then stepped over with my right leg. However, this guy is a beginner, so I was able to save it with a Hail Mary armbar. And then I believe I transitioned over to a triangle and then finished with an armbar. So that's something to keep in mind. Anytime you're going for a triangle from mount, you always want to slide one leg up and then get your other leg over the shoulder. I sometimes am greedy and I just try to jump over the arm first, and every time I do that, I usually, if they have a little more experience, they'll escape. Or, I mean, this guy that this clip is from he's new, so you can you can get away with crappy jiu-jitsu against new people. So again, if you are trying to move to high mount in order to get a mounted triangle, your left leg should be very close to them and close to their armpit. If it is not, and you have some space, what happens is this: they can slide out from the back. So just some a tip to keep in mind. That way you can secure the mount position in a way that will enable you to get a triangle. They always say position before submission, and that's exactly right. And it even gets harder when you're trying to go for a submission in that position. Things get wily. Now things get pretty interesting. I go for a knee tap in order to set up a double leg, and he uses this opportunity while I knee tap to then gain head control and to try to snap me down. So anytime that you are starting from standing, a really great takedown technique that doesn't require a huge amount of skill is grabbing the head like he's doing to me and snapping them down. Now, if you're on the receiving end, just know that you can just continue to drive, and you can see I don't give up. I get a hold of his legs and I end up getting a double leg from my knees. So you can get double legs from standing. If you're in that front turtle position on the bottom, if you can get leg control and keep on driving, keep control of his legs, and then step over the legs, you can get both a takedown and a pass. And that back step is key. So look at this. Backstepping serves you to both pass, and it's also very useful to maintain top side control when they're bridging. Don't sleep on that backstep.
Money gives a fuck about a hater.
Now I am in a side control position and I go right to mount, and my head just happens to be by his tricep. Anytime that you have a head, your head by their tricep, they have already set themselves up to be head and arm choked or an arm triangle choke. So I step over. Anytime for an arm triangle choke, the most successful to set it up for me has just been looking for that opening, looking for the timing. And that's typically when you see his left arm, how it's up. If their far side arm is ever up, stick your head in that armpit and wedge it right against it, and you have yourself a head and arm choke or an arm triangle choke. And again, windshield washer that foot over, keep your left knee in their hip and sink down low. Most people that have trouble finishing it, it's either because they aren't sinking in low enough or because their knee isn't in their hip. So those are 2 tips to help you finish a head and arm choke, also called an arm triangle choke. Now here is really interesting. He takes his left hand, he knee taps and pushes me over, which is a great way to take the back. And in order to, anytime somebody has your back, you want to beat that bottom leg. So I escape and end up in top position. I slide my knee over to get a mount position. So anytime you have side control, just try to slide that knee over to get mount. And vice versa. If you're ever on the bottom of side control, your number 1 defense is to put your knee and your elbow together, and that will prevent their knee from sliding across. Since we're out of frame, I'll show you I'll show you something else. Now what you can do is anytime that you're a mount, you can grapevine their legs, and that adds a lot of pressure. And also what I like to try to do is to go to high mount. Anytime that you go higher on their torso, you are decreasing the effectiveness of their bridge. So see how he's bridging, and he just basically bridges himself over. Because I am not loaded on his hips, he can't bridge and roll me because there's literally nothing to bridge and roll except himself. Another useful way to maintain mount is called swimming your arms out. So right now, if you're ever in mount, they're going to try to bridge and roll. First step to a bridge and roll is trapping the arm. So if you swim out, another way to maintain mount is to walk around. So using that bicep, going to a side control to stop the spinning, which is, we call it side control 1, where you basically pin the hip, slide your knee over to get into mount, and again with the back step. Another way that it's really useful that you can maintain mount is using your head like it's a third arm. You can see here how I'm posting it on the mat. That's giving me basically a third arm, so I can free my 2 other arms to attack because I'm using my head as a post. So anytime that you are in mount and you feel like you're losing control and you need your hands, but you're using your hands to post, try posting your head on the mat and even using your head to do things like secure an Americana. Now I want to show you more examples of transitions from mount. That way it will help you get more submissions from the top.
Give a fuck about a hater. It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker. It'll keep me run no broke shit, that broke shit get old. It'll keep me run no hoe shit.
So number 1, I showed you how to maintain mount by swimming out. You can see I just swam out my arm. And now what you can do is you can try to isolate one arm. When you try to do that, they will go to their side, and this will give you the opportunity to get into a technical mount. From that technical mount, you have an array of things you can do.
Just to go to the bodega, and I keep it with me just so that I'm feeling safer.
If I step my right leg over, I would have the armbar, or you can slide that left leg in, and this will give you a triangle hold and also set you up to get yourself an armbar. So with all of those tips, you'll be able to maintain mount better, and then also get an armbar like I just did here. So I posted, and then as I was getting bridge and rolled, I posted my arm and was able to get my right leg over his head in time. So just know, if you're about to be bridge and rolled and you have an arm trapped, you can slap that leg over and get yourself a nice little arm bar there. The trick is to always be thinking attack, 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 instead of, oh no, I'm about to lose mount. Like there's a clear differentiation if your mindset is, oh no, I'm going to lose mount, I have to defend, versus I'm getting this armbar is mine. My mind is just attack, 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 attack. That will really set yourself up to get more attacks, because your mindset will just be on what you're doing, not a reaction to what they're doing. My first coach used to always say, you're either defensive or you're offensive, meaning you're either attacking or you're afraid of getting attacked. Here is a roll into a crucifix, and now that I have his arm trapped, I go for a rear naked choke from the crucifix position. So think about that next time you're rolling. What's your mind frame? Are you thinking attack, 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 or are you afraid of what they're doing and reacting to it?
I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega, and I keep it with me just so that I'm feeling safer. Fendi on my body, but my feet is in Bottega. Bitch, I'm getting money, give a fuck about a haters.
I was really happy to spend some time with you today. If you've watched more than one video, go ahead and click that subscribe button so we can be friends. Great job rolling, and until next time.
The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. The system broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose, no.